Hi, my name is Tina. I recently graduated from NC State with a bachelor's degree in applied nutrition, and I made the decision to come back to school after about a 30-year career in food and beverage related work. I was in operations, in strategic planning, and also in partnership marketing. But in the last 10 years or so, I started to really, I think like a lot of people, feel concern about the growing, especially with children, increasing chronic disease rates, increasing obesity, and felt like I wanted to shift my career in a way that I could contribute to mitigating some of these issues, maybe through education or research. I was not clear, but I knew I needed to get the science background. So very pleased to have completed my undergraduate work here. Now I'm a graduate student at UNCG in the Master's of Science program in nutrition. I'm also satisfying my requirements for my RD. A typical day, I have classes Monday through Thursday. Sometimes I take seminars on Fridays. Classes generally for graduate students, they can be in the morning or after, evenings and afternoons. So some days I have classes that start at 8, and other days I have classes that don't start until 3. But I'm pretty much engaged all day and into the evening with either going to class, being in study groups, working on projects in collaborations with other students, and also working on my own work. Research-wise, I'm working on a couple of projects with some of the professors in collaboration with Wake Forest Medical School. So, and I will say that if you decide to go to graduate school, take advantage of those opportunities. They'll really help you with what's expected of you in class, but also expose you to different ways of using nutrition in the field. So as a Master's of Science in the nutrition program, as you might imagine, nutrition is our world. We spend a lot of time critically analyzing current research to understand how some of the RDIs have been established, for example, understanding how to determine if the original research was conducted in a manner that we would agree gave the results that we base so many of our public health decisions on. I think you all probably remember the discussions about the studies on statins and how it was limited to a primarily male Caucasian population. So when you think about, well, how does that apply to other races or gender? So we look at things like that very, very much in detail. And I also am working a lot on developing curriculum because I have a little bit of emphasis on the education component. So I spend a lot of time trying to translate nutrition information into how that can be communicated in an effective way through interventions and educational design. And always looking for opportunities to get involved in research, nutrition research. So after graduation, I think for me, I of course had in the near term a lot more linear path through going to undergrad and then on to graduate school than maybe most of you even had, because I had that 30 years before to take my non-linear path to get to where I am today. But I would say the thing I learned the most is figuring out how to use this knowledge in the ways that are going to be gratifying for me and helpful to the public. I think that's what I continue to explore. And that's what, for me, graduate school is really helpful, because it's taking advantage of all those different opportunities and getting narrowing that scope of what you're going to focus on long term. I'd say the thing that I'm most proud of at this stage of my journey is my ability to continually challenge myself and stay outside of my comfort zone. College, as you all know, is really challenging, and it's important, I think, to remind ourselves that learning's a lifelong journey, and it's important to pursue the things that we're really passionate about. So for me, this has been really important for me personally to pursue something I'm passionate about, even though it meant stepping outside of my comfort zone, going back to being a college student, living on a college student budget, all of the things that we all live every day. So I'm really proud of my capacity to do that and do it well. I'm not sure that I would have done anything differently. I believe that the decisions I've made through the course of my career, and then most recently as a student, has gotten me right to where I need to be. And you know, when things maybe didn't work out the way that I had hoped, I tried to think about those times as reflective and how to improve upon that going forward, whatever that might look like. I think that's really important as you mature into your careers, that you remember that. There's sometimes we learn best through our mistakes. I think embracing not just your successes, but maybe your failures or your opportunities has been a really great life lesson that I've tried to apply. You know, nutrition's a really broad field when you think about it. There's a lot of things we can do with a degree in nutrition. And I would recommend that as you finish out your last few semesters, that you really start to think about how are you going to apply this knowledge? Are you going to go on to graduate school? Are you going to work on research? Are you going to teach? Are you going to work in a clinical environment, whether it be as an RD or actually a clinical research environment? I mean, there's so many things. You're going to work on policy. So really start to think about what are the things you would like to do, and look for opportunities to either go talk to people doing those, you know, participating in those roles, or job shadow, or get involved through research if that's your area of interest, just to get an understanding of whether that really will work for you in the long run.